Hello everyone, welcome back in another video. Today date is 12th of November 2022 and in our today's video we are going to see aspect oriented programming. So in our previous video we are briefly discussed about the object oriented programming language. So aspect oriented is optional for we can replace aspect oriented for object oriented. So totally not. Aspect oriented programming is a complementary for object oriented programming language. Before going toward aspect oriented, let's we see what is object oriented. Java, when we are using a Java, that time Java is a 100% object oriented programming language. That means it's based on objects and classes. When your developer can start a coding, that time they have to make some packages, classes, and methods within their code. So that's why by using a codes, we are achieving multiple features within a Java by using OOPS concepts. So OOPs are basically built on four pillars like inheritance, polymorphism, abstraction, and encapsulation are there. So by using all those aspects, we are going to make easier to code. We can understand OOPs by using a taking a one example. Suppose there was a one class, that is class is a car, and we take one more class, that is a bike class, and one more class is there, that is the engine class. Suppose that engine class can contain a multiple method like a run, stop, and brake. So these methods which we have to use or implement in our their both classes, like in your bike class, in our class car. So that time by using OOPS concepts, we have to extend those classes which we are have to use in another class. That means there was in OOPS concept there is a two relationships, that is a is-a relationship and a has-a relationship. And now in this example we can take a has-a relationships. Okay. So for it we can extending the our engine class from bike class and our car class. So syntax for extending is like that. We are simply write within a class, our within our car class we are going to only extend. So that time we are going to write class car extends engine. That means all those properties and method which are present in our engine class, that can be extended in our car class. Similarly, we are extending those property within our bike class. So for extending properties, we have to create an object. So for making an object, we have to write the syntax like that. Class, first of all, there was a class name, then object reference, then equal to sign. After to equal to sign, we have to write a new keyword. That means when we are going to create a new object, that time we have to use a new keyword. By using new keyword, we are allocate the memory for the particular object in our heap memory. After that, again after the new keyword, there was a class name and then parenthesis and then semicolon. Okay, so which properties are extended from engine class? Those comes in our bike class and car class. So we can extend all those property by using extension, by using a is a and has a relationship. But it's slightly complicated or it's slightly time consuming. Instead of that, they can introduce one more programming aspect or one more point of view to understand, to make coding at make a sense for coding at a development. They introduce a aspect oriented programming language. So aspect oriented programming language is a complementary for our object oriented programming language. Suppose in our there was a we take a in our example there was a two classes are there, that is a car class and bike class, and those both classes can extending the properties of a engine class. That means they need a repeatability. That means the code repeatability should be increased by using a OOPS concepts. But if we are going to see, if we are using aspect oriented programming language, that time we no need to create any class or we no need to extend any class. That time we only create a aspect regard those parameters which are repeatedly used in different classes. Suppose there is a code of line 100 line, code of 100 line. That time if we are using a OOPS concept, that time we have to write the code again and again for calling the object, creating the object, and calling all those methods. So that increase the LOC. That means line of code should be increased, and it's directly impacting on the performance of code. That's why we're using the aspect oriented programming language. So we can identify those terms are which are similarly used in different classes. We can make a different aspect by taking all those parameters which are repeatedly using in these classes. So by using make a connection between that aspect and by with the two classes, we get easily inherit the all the properties without creating an object. That means if we are going to create object, that time we are using a new keyword. If we are using new keyword, that time at each time we are using new keyword, it takes some space from a heap memory. So unnecessary the space is consumed. That means because of those reason, performance of our code, performance of our application should be reduced. That's why as a developer, it's our responsibility to reduce the LOC and improve the performance of code. For that, we are going to use a aspect oriented programming language. So this is the basic introduction about the aspect oriented programming. We can discuss briefly in any another video by practically, and we can achieve the aspect oriented programming in another video. Thank you.